you have a specific question, maybe
Well,
otherwise.
we're
just
getting into
good
virology,
stuff.
but then we were talking about fractal reality and just the whole, this being the inverted machine aware of itself at the highest levels, like as opposed to out, out, out. It's like, I don't know where you want to go with any of that, but those are the things I was thinking might be kind of pinging on your radar.
Well, all I can say is that, it's all about, as you already had mentioned, realizing the mysteries right in front of us. It is infinite. However, even though it is infinite, at least aspects of it can be made visible. That is a continual process of understanding and then, in a sense, elevating oneself through different views of the ability to recognize patterns and, let's say, higher order. And I just like to thank Cullen for pointing it out in this hermaphrodite way, properly understood.
Exactly.
Now
I didn't mean to just take your steam out there.
No, you didn't. I was actually running out of steam there. But now everyone's going to make fun of me for the hermaphrodite thing.
No, it's perfect, and it's important because so often, I mean, as you very well know, symbols are defined in one particular sense, and there's too many symbols and too many words even to name in one show that have been defined in a very one-sided sense, which could, in some perspectives, even be deemed ignorant or arrogant if, then one particular definition is taken as the definition and all the other perspectives are left out. So I'd like to thank you for bringing that up. Positive definitions, that's what it's all about.
What you kind of just said there reminded me of cancer, where it's like, well, if we get the wrong definitions and they spread incorrectly, it's almost like the scene from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's like, burn her, she's a witch. And they're like, how do you know? She's like, I'm a newt. And it's like, clearly not a newt. And it's like, oh my God, they're just ignorant as fuck. This is the worst.
And just to make one more connection, you may want to refer to Cullen, because you spoke now about cancer. And as far as I understand it, it's actually super simple. Ultimately, there is a cellular voltage. So it's very much to do with the electricity you mentioned, which then, spiritual individuals may call the energy or the vibe or whatever, but it can also be measured in real cellular electricity. And this is a prime factor for whether a cell is functioning correctly. And if it is on very low voltage, or, however you want to call it, low connection, low consciousness, I don't know, then you get all of these malignant ideas. And I liked how you mentioned it, that then the cell forgets its true purpose. Let's holographically project that onto the human collective and see where there is low voltage, low vitality, lots of confusion and all kinds of deterrents to a healthy lifestyle. Those are usually the individuals or groups or let's hope it's not the majority, I don't know, that seems to more forget its purpose and its divine connection and all of that than those who are, vital and usually then also somewhat spiritual or at least driven and so on and so forth. So I like the connection between the cells and the humans. It's probably the same game. It's all about the energy and the voltage available. If it's not there, you're getting into all kind of cancerous, problematic territory. However, if the voltage is established, all kinds of wonderful things are possible and things are just working as they should, cosmically.
The spirit goes where it wants. Maybe that's the electricity of the fucking cosmos, I'm realizing.
Yeah, and it's not just specifically about low voltage per se, but it's about being in the right. It's about being in the most conducive range necessary for essential functioning. Because it is all. The electrical signal is essentially, it's the electromagnetic field, and the field is what ultimately determines, it's the signal that sends out the actual chemical signals within the body, which the body communicates primarily through the electrical signal, which is what signals the chemical response. Then the chemicals.
The information tells the things what to do. Yeah,
exactly. It's the field that tells the actual chemicals how to build the certain structures and what structures to build. And that's what cancer is it's literally so there are several different biochemical factors that cause cancer cells to proliferate. There's the mTOR pathway. There's the IGF-1 pathway, which basically causes, because we need these certain pathways such as TOR and IGF-1, which are necessary for the growth of a human being. I mean, you need cells to proliferate, from when you're a child in order to have your physical body grow into an adult. And so that's where IGF-1 comes in, is responsible for cellular proliferation. But where cancer comes in is when that signal is overactive and you're producing too much IGF-1 through one of those pathways. Is animal protein causes IGF-1 to proliferate, which causes, which is why animal protein is carcinogenic. That is proven science now, is that animal protein triggers IGF-1, which is carcinogenic. It causes cellular proliferation. So we want to grow. We want our cells to grow and divide and expand, but that's mostly during youth and through childhood until we're fully grown adults. And then we want to turn that signal down so that it's not, overactive, so that we don't, our cells don't just proliferate out of control, which is exactly what cancer is they're receiving that chemical stimulus from our environmental stimulus that we're putting in our bodies, such as, animal protein, as well as the electrification of our environment. So it's not just about low voltage per se, but it's about it's just about correct ratios. It's about correct, and I don't mean correct, I mean the most
balanced and productive.
The most conducive for, the right conditions. It's like the Goldilocks conditions for, proper health and vitality. And so that's, in the same way that our environment, certain electromagnetic signals are extremely healing. I mean, this is how you can repair bone. You can repair bone with electrical signals, but you can also. So it's not just about, it can be used either way, because that's just how nature works. Is it just
sounds like the Force or something? Yeah. It's like, you can go Sith or Jedi. It's a matter of balancing it properly and polarity or something.
Exactly. That's exactly what the concept of the Force is. The Force is regulated through the midi-chlorians, which the midi-chlorian is basically the equivalent of essentially like not atoms, but they're like biological.
It's like mitochondrial stuff, right?
Yeah, it's the most basic biological form of the factor of life, as far as the Star Wars universe goes. But so that's exactly it. Is the Force has two sides of it, which both function dynamically to provide the proliferation of life. And George Lucas had expanded on that, and there are actually two sides of the Force, not just dark and light, but there are two aspects of the Force as a whole. Being one is the living force, which feeds what's known as the cosmic force. And so this was most importantly revealed when Qui-Gon reveals this revelation to Yoda, when Qui-Gon manages to reorient his midi-chlorians and his living force and unites it with the cosmic force in order to reformulate himself into what's called the Force Ghost. And so that's how he's able to then communicate with the world of the living, which is how he communicates this message to Yoda, and provides this task to Yoda from the cosmic force itself, is communicating this message through Qui-Gon to the living force, which is to Yoda. And he tells Yoda what his true mission is, and his mission is to learn this process of how to manifest a consciousness that will exist beyond death.
Here I am, ready for my next instruction, Master Qui-Gon.
Yoda, my old friend, you have come at last.
Qui-Gon Jinn, really you? It is?
It is.
Losing my mind, I am not?
No, my friend, no.
Why have you brought me here?
Follow the light. The light will be your guide.
this planet is with the Force?
It is one of the purest places in the galaxy.
How are you here?
I am a manifestation of the Force. A force that consists of two parts. Living beings generate the living force, which in turn powers the wellspring that is the cosmic force.
Show yourself, can you?
I cannot. My training was incomplete. All energy from the living force, from all things that have ever lived, feeds into the cosmic force, binding everything and communicating to us through the midichlorians. Because of this, I can speak to you now.
See the future. You can.
I exist where there is no future or past.
And by manifesting this consciousness, so this is the obvious mystical path of, you know, ancient Buddhism, Tibetan Buddhism as well.
Taoist alchemy, all this jazz.
Exactly, the Taoist So stay tuned for the next part. We'll pick up right here where we left off. What you can watch it. I will leave any intros and stuff out so that you can watch it in a consecutive style. And so again, my name is Cullen Smith. This is Lifting the Veil. You can find all of my full books, presentations, videos, films, articles, posts at patreon.com/liftingtheveil. And there is also a ton of exclusive content, and I will leave the cited reference links in the description down below. So you can check that out for all of my full content, and I will see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe. Please help me reach more people by sharing these videos around on the internet, because I rely solely on word of mouth, and the recommended algorithms are not recommending any of my videos or films anymore. My channel has literally been completely restricted, so I rely on your help, and I need your help. So please help support this channel by sharing my work around if you appreciate it, and make sure to subscribe if you're not a subscriber already, and leave me your comments. I definitely want to know what you have to share and what you have to think about all of this stuff, and I will see you in the next video. Y'all stay safe and take care of yourselves, and I will see you later.